With spring brings a new beginning, a new sense of optimism, but the goal never changes.
The Toronto Blue Jays are designed to win.
I don't want to just win the division. I want to run away with it.
We got to start day one, setting a tone that we're going to be fundamentally sound, aggressive, hungry, and looking to win the division.
The Blue Jays are here to play. We're here. We mean business this year.
The great Joe DiMaggio once described opening day as something you look forward to like a birthday party when you're a kid. You always think something wonderful is going to happen.
Opening day is just, it's nothing better.
There is something that's different about opening day. The anticipation, the excitement, the nervousness, it's all amplified.
When you hit that field open day, it's going to be, the crowd's going to be into it. There's going to be a lot of emotions.
It's that time of year again, and no other game is as eagerly anticipated as opening day.
We've got goals too. We have an agenda.
We're going to bottle. We're going to give them a hard time.
We're all looking forward to getting this thing started and seeing what this team's all about.
It's going to be Doc out there for us, so you know it's going to be close, and we're going to be in it.
Starting off, you want to get off on the right foot. We've got Doc on the mound, and we're going to feel like we're unbeatable.
And welcome to Jays Connected MLB Preview Show. I'm Ivanka Osmak. Well, it's hard to believe we're welcoming back the boys of summer already for the 08 season. No doubt 2007 provided some huge storylines, from Barry Bonds to the Red Sox big World Series run. So what will make headlines this season? Well, Sportsnet's baseball analyst Ken Rosenthal gives us his predictions. As for the Jays, after a season filled with injuries, opportunities, and another third-place finish, what's so different about 08?
It began as a season filled with optimism and high expectations.
And it's a Blue Jays team that has a $90 million payroll. This is a team, after all, that finished ahead of the Red Sox in the American League East, finished second to the New York Yankees, and they are a force to be reckoned with.
That very force quickly got a rude awakening. It was clear from the outset that the baseball gods were not smiling down on the 07 Jays.
They're getting themselves buried pretty early in this season, and there's a lot of bad stuff filtering around this ball club right now.
The injury bug bit early and often, as the parade to the disabled list seemed never-ending.
All the injuries that we had?
Greg Zahn, broken thumb.
Chassin, shoulder.
Lyle Overby had a wrist. Let me think about this for a second.
Holiday, oblique. No, he had appendicitis.
BJ Ryan, blown ulnar collateral nerve and Tommy John surgery.
AJ had his arm.
Who else went down? I'm drawing a blank. There's too many to remember.
But with adversity comes opportunity.
In a 6-month season, a 162-game schedule, you can't hide.
The team's young guns answered the call, salvaging what appeared to be a wasted season.
Where somebody has an injury, another young kid gets a shot to show what he can do.
They can really build a lot of character for this team going forward. You got a lot of guys to choose from now to make things happen.
I think there's no doubt we can leapfrog both of those teams, having endured what we did last year. I think it was a positive.
To have those injuries, it just it kind of opened some doors for some guys. As far as the pitching staff.
Once we get everybody back, then we got depth, and they're not afraid to put people in certain situations, and there's not a long guy per se. If it's a tight game in the fifth, they have no problem running people out there that can get the job done.
Now the Jays field their deepest and most complete team since the glory days. 25 players in the clubhouse, all sharing the same sentiment. If this year's club can remain a healthy one, October baseball is within their grasp.
The Blue Jays are here to play. We're here, we mean business this year. And you better not just be focused on Boston this year. You're going to have to worry about us as well.
Every team, every city out there in the country wants a team that they can root for, and it's going to be there in the end. And I have a good feeling this team, we're going to hang in there tough all year, and who knows what might happen at the end.
We got to start day one, setting a tone that we're going to be fundamentally sound, aggressive, hungry, and looking to win the division.
This team, I think, is a team put together to beat them. And certainly that's what we're going to try to do.
This is the year to do it. A lot of teams say, we're rebuilding, like Tampa saying we're rebuilding. Well, we were saying that a couple years ago. And this is a rebuilt team. Like this, in the next couple of years, this is when the Toronto Blue Jays are designed to win.
The lineup is as balanced as we've seen in 15 years. Manager John Gibbons has a spark plug at the top of the lineup in David Eckstein, followed by some serious power from Rios all the way to Stairs. Now, the bad news. The Jays could be without Scott Rowland for as long as 6 weeks with a broken right middle finger, but JP learned his lesson from 07 with depth off the bench. The staff is once again led by one of the elite pitchers in the world in Roy Halladay. He went 16-7 last season with a 3.71 ERA. A.J. Burnett, as always, is the wild card, and in the spring was unable to throw his number one pitch, his curveball. The Jays will be looking for more than 10 wins he picked up in 07. Dustin McGowan, Sean Markham, Jesse Litch round out the rotation and all stepped up in a huge way last season and be looking to build on that momentum in 08. Joining us now is Ken Rosenthal from FoxSports.com. Ken, there's a few new faces joining the Blue Jays in the offseason, and it seems J.P. Ricciardi favored St. Louis, going after not one but two Cardinals, David Eckstein and Scott Rowland for Troy Gloss. So what kind of impact do you think Eckstein and Rowland will have?
I think they can have a huge impact, Ivanka, and the reason is these are players who have won championships before. Rowland in St. Louis, Eckstein in St. Louis and in Anaheim. They are tough players, and when you talk about the Jays last year, when you hear Roy Halladay say there was a lack of urgency, these are players that will change that, along with Matt Stairs, I think, and even B.J. Ryan when he returns. Those are tough-minded guys. I think they'll help a lot.
Okay, speaking of Rowland, and you just mentioned B.J. Ryan. Rowland, he's had an injury-prone season after season, and that seemed to follow him to Toronto. He's already out for a few weeks, and Ryan still feeling sore and fresh off Tommy John and Casey Janssen. A huge disappointment. He's out for the season. We know injuries were a huge factor in 07, so how did these early injuries already affect the team's momentum?
It's not a great sign, Ivanka. There's no question about that. Rowland is going to be back in a month. His was kind of a freakish thing. B.J. Ryan is coming back shortly. Obviously, the loss of Janssen hurts a great deal. He's out for the season following that labrum surgery. The one good thing for the Jays right now is that they have some depth. Marco Scutaro is not Scott Rowland, but he's a very good player. Brandon Lee could be the replacement for Janssen, and once Ryan comes back, the pitching staff, anchored by the bullpen, is that much deeper. All that said, we all know that this team needs to be healthy to be where it wants to be at the end of the season.
Well, it wasn't a good season last year for the offense. 5 big-time players just had awful years, and if spring training is any indication, Ken, these guys haven't really turned things around yet, so how much of a concern is it already?
Somewhat of a concern, simply because you want to see the guys who had poor years, specifically Wells and Overbay, really come out flying. That said, it's spring training, and veteran players in spring training often are working on things. They're not necessarily worried about results. Frank Thomas had a horrible spring. I don't know that Frank Thomas is going to have a horrible season because of that. But the Jays clearly need to improve offensively this season. They've got the lineup to improve offensively. Now it's a matter of doing it.
And it sort of sets the table.
Well, where they clearly improved last season was the pitching, made up for the lack of offense. Second half, the staff was one of the best in the league, second best ERA in the AL. So what do you like or dislike about the rotation pen this season?
I like their rotation, period. Halladay and Burnett at the top, if healthy, will be one of the better 1-2 punches in the game. Certainly McGowan is emerging as a possible star, and Sean Markham very capable in the 4th spot. The bullpen, too, once Ryan returns, and even without him, is fairly deep, assuming that Lee can handle some of Janssen's responsibilities from last season. So their pitching, to me, should be almost as good as it was last year, all things being equal, everybody staying healthy.
Ken Rosenthal will join us later on in the show. Here are the men who make their money in pressure situations. With B.J. Ryan held up in Florida to build up arm strength, the closer role will once again fall to Accardo, who last year was 30 for 35 in save situations after replacing Ryan. The rest of the pen consists of Randy Wells, Brian Wolf, lefty Brian Tallett, Brandon Lee, Jason Fraser, and setup man Scott Downs. There was no better way to find out what was happening in the Jays clubhouse than through the players themselves. That's exactly what the season 07 did. Gave us a behind-the-scenes look at the grind of 162 games. This season, we're starting right down in Dunedin, Florida for spring training as the 08 Jays get ready for another journey towards October baseball.
25 men unite, all sharing a common goal. A group of warriors making it known that second place will no longer be accepted.
I don't want to just win the division. I want to run away with it.
You know, we can have what we had in the early 90s.
It's time to stop talking about it and go out there and do it.
With unprecedented access to the players' lives on and off the field, it's now time to tell their story.
Got a good story for you. Can I say it right now?
I got a mic on, so probably not. Yeah, you're the green guy. We just did you. Feel bad we're lying to him, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, but you better edit some of that.
The Season 08 Jays brings you a 30-minute documentary showcasing a team that will settle for nothing less than October glory.
25 players.
One nation, united by a game.
This is our season.
This is our season. This is our season, 08 Jays.
The premiere of the season, 08 Jays, is coming up at the bottom of the hour. Narrated by legendary MC Socrates, the doc focuses on B.J. Ryan's long road back, the offseason of Alex Rios, and the return of the franchise, Vernon Wells. The season is available in high definition. Coming up, Ken Rosenthal will break down the contenders and the pretenders in both the AL and NL.
What up, bro?
What up, Ray?
Got a good story for you. Can I say it right now?
I got a mic on, so probably not.
And it's your all-access pass as the Season 08 Jays return with an even closer look at the lives of the players.
Need a reason to get a second opinion from Mr. Transmission? How about a few hundred? Today's transmissions are highly complex, so when you gotta be sure, it's gotta be Mr.
Hey, mister, you're a friend of mine.
For easy access to federal government programs and services, like our apprenticeship grant, call, click, or visit us today.
Service Canada. People serving people.
A message from the Government of Canada.
And did you see what she was wearing? Ew. You want to play?
Hey, come on, let's go for a ride in the new car.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Grand Caravan.
You know, you're not so bad, Bobby. It's Billy. I knew that.
Canada's favorite minivan brings families together like never before. Introducing the revolutionary Kuro.
This could be the sign of a serious transmission problem. Or just a loose fitting. Better see the specialist at Mr. Transmission, because when you gotta be sure, it's gotta be Mr.
Hey, mister, you're a friend of mine.
After 85 years, Yankee Stadium will close its gates for good at year's end. It's where the Jays begin their 2008 season. And from Yankee Stadium to the Rogers Center, 100 Jays games will be on Sportsnet this season. Just a few of the parks we'll be seeing the games from. But first, we're going to kick things off in New York with Jamie Campbell and Pat Tabler.
Ivanka, it's the final season of baseball here at Yankee Stadium. The team has been playing here since 1923, and what a perfect setting for us to talk about the upcoming season for the Blue Jays. Pat Tabler, is this going to be a better team than it was last year?
Well, Jamie, I think it is, simply because I think from top to bottom their pitching staff is so much better. Remember a year ago at this time, the scheduled 3, 4, and 5 starters for the Blue Jays, Dustin McGowan was in the minor leagues, Sean Markin was in the bullpen, and Jesse Litch was in the minor leagues. Last year, year their 3-4-5 was Tomaoka, Josh Towers, and Gustavo Chacin, so I think a definite upgrade from the starting staff this year.
Well, let's continue the subject of pitching. We know they had a very good bullpen last year, but they lost Casey Janssen for the entire upcoming season. How much of a blow is that going to be?
It hurts. He was such a vital part of that bullpen, taking care of the eighth inning for the Blue Jays last year, but they have some arms down there that could help out. I think Scott Downs can get lefties and righties out, so he can handle the eighth inning. I think Brandon League has shown and thrown the ball this spring like he did 2 years ago. I think his power arm really suits to the back end of the bullpen, so I think he's going to be fine. And we haven't even talked about B.J. Ryan yet. You lose Casey Janssen, you get B.J. Ryan back in a month, so I think the bullpen's still going to be fine.
Offensively, Pat, only 4 teams scored fewer runs than the Blue Jays last year. Will they be better in that category this season?
I think they will, and it's simply because they've got guys now that they've been concentrating on trying to play better fundamental baseball, move runners over, hit and run a little bit more, maybe bunt a little bit. You're not going to hit home runs every single night. I think with the addition of David Eckstein and a Shannon Stewart, some veterans who know how to handle that bat and grind out at bats, I think their offense is going to be a lot better to help the big guys in the middle of the lineup score more runs.
Well, the Blue Jays haven't made the postseason since Joe Carter touched them all. So, Ivanka, there's every reason to believe this lineup has the capability of getting them back to the postseason.
The Red Sox try and finish off the World Series. Lowell hits one into left field. Back at the wall, Mike Lowell has made it 3-0 Red Sox.
Kelty swings, stings this one, and she is gone. The Red Sox have another run on the board, and the Red Sox can smell it.
Series over, and the Red Sox are world champs again.
In 2007, the World Championship of Major League Baseball belongs to Red Sox Nation.
Back with Ken Rosenthal. Red Sox definitely like to repeat what happened last season, and looks like the more or less the same roster that won the World Series. But do you think it is enough to repeat, or do they have some weaknesses this season?
It is enough for them to repeat, Ivanka, if they stay healthy. When you look at the Red Sox, they have 5 core players, in my opinion. That would be Matsuzaka, Beckett in the starting rotation, Ramirez and Ortiz in the lineup, and of course Jonathan Papelbon as the closer. Those 5 players were essentially healthy last season and highly productive. If they stay healthy again, the Red Sox clearly are the team to beat in the American League. This is the best team on paper. They are everything that they were last season. Sean Casey joins them this year. I think they can expect a better year out of J.D. Drew. They're going to be very, very good, but again, health will be the key.
Okay, from a team that made no changes almost to one that made a lot of noise in the offseason, the Tigers, Miguel Cabrera and Dontrell Willis joining their roster. But before they book their ticket to the World Series or the playoffs, can they win the Central?
I'm not sure that they can. The Indians' pitching is far deeper than the Tigers, especially to start the season, when you have the Tigers missing Fernando Rodney and Joel Zumaya in their bullpen, and when you have continued questions about Dontrell Willis, who is coming off a poor season and a poor spring. Kenny Rogers, another year older in that rotation. Nate Robertson and Jeremy Bonderman are 2 guys who have some answers or questions to answer this season as well.
Ken, let's switch to the National League. What do you think the most intriguing story out of the NL is?
A lot of people would say the Cubs and their quest to end their 100 years of futility in winning a World Series, but I'll go with the Mets. Coming off that historic collapse at the end of last season and now adding Johan Santana to that team, it's going to be a very interesting season for them. They are an older team, a team that is going to have injury issues, but with Santana and a seemingly healthy Pedro Martinez at the top of the rotation, they've got an entirely new look, and I think that will be enough for them to stem what occurred last year and stop that kind of losing negative momentum. This could be the team to beat in the NL East if healthy.
Okay, so if they're not healthy or if all the pieces don't fall together, who do you think is the most dominant team in the NL?
I actually like the Braves to win the entire thing, not just the NL, but the World Series. People are not looking at this team as carefully as they should. Here's a team with a lot of young stars, Francoeur and McCann and Escobar now taking over at shortstop. They've got an older rotation, granted, but they've also built depth now, adding Jared Jurgens in the trade with Detroit and, of course, signing Tom Glavine. The Braves also have enough depth to make a trade in July. They've got some outfielders. They've got some bullpen guys that they can move. So when you look at the whole Braves portrait, there's a lot to like, and I think they're being undersold.
All right, and Ken Rosenthal will be back with us one final time. Thanks. That's right. Rosenthal returns to tell us what the future holds for baseball's home run king. Plus, the season's cameras are again rolling as the 08 Jays break down the performance from season 1.
I'm working on my action skills. I go to classes in the off season, and it's been tough.
Closed captioning brought to you by Tim Hortons' new slow roast beef sandwich. With thick, tender carvings of slow roasted seasoned beef, it'll make every day.
Children grow up so fast. But you can get money now for your child's education or training after high school through 2 grants offered by the Government of Canada. The Canada Education Savings Grant is for everyone. It can add up to 40% to your child's education savings. The Canada Learning Bond is for lower-income families. It gives you a free $500 deposit now to help you save for your child's education or training. They're not getting any younger. To get your money now, call 1-800-O-CANADA or visit canlearn.ca. A message from the Government of Canada.
Hitting the road with everything you love never loses its thrill. What will you discover? Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.ca for a free CD-ROM and see an RV dealer.
So, big plans this weekend? Julie and I are going to give each other pink highlights.
You know, maybe it's time you started looking for a part-time job.
I would, but I don't have a social insurance number yet, so...
Service Canada, providing easy one-stop access to federal government programs and services like a social insurance number. For answers to your questions and much more, call, click, or visit us today. Service Canada, people serving people. A message from the Government of Canada.
And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. He is on top of the all-time home run list.
First, he broke the record. Now he is rewriting the record book.
You can't talk about the baseball season without still talking about Barry Bonds. Joining us again is Ken Rosenthal. What do you make of Bonds? You think we'll see him back this season on some team?
Ivanka, he still can hit. We know that from last season. He has every right to play. He is under indictment but has not been convicted of anything. Yet at the same time, it would be an upset if a team signed him. And the reason is he reflects the steroid era. He is the symbol of the steroid era to many people. And while Barry Bonds certainly wasn't the only player who was alleged to have used performance-enhancing drugs, teams just view him in a negative light. They see him as a guy who's going to bring all kinds of untoward publicity to their club and be a distraction. Therefore, it would be an upset to me if he signs with a team this season, though certainly he could help an American League club as a designated hitter.
Okay, what about the favorite story? What do you think it's going to be of 08?
My favorite story involves the young players coming into the game and not just their ability. When we talk about guys like Ryan Braun and Troy Tulowitzki, Chris Young, Jeff Francoeur, but also the responsibility that they feel to changing the game's image and improving the sport and the perception of the sport. These are guys who talk very openly about the steroid era and what it has meant and how it's embarrassed the sport, and they want to change that. They had tough minor league testing, drug testing, and they feel that they've come through a situation already where they've seen a lot of bad things happen to veteran players. They want the sport to represent something better than that, something more.
All right, well, we heard it from you. It's the Braves that are going to take it. We'll see if that comes true. A long way to go. Thanks a lot, Ken, for joining us.
Thank you, Ivanka.
Here are Ken's predictions for the 2008 season. He likes the Red Sox to take the AL East, the Indians to win the Central, and the Angels to grab the West. And in the NL, He says it's the Braves taking down the Cubs in the NLCS and Cleveland over Boston in the ALCS. Of course, the Braves over the Indians in the World Series. The Jays may be used to seeing themselves on TV's highlight reels for that unforgettable throw or catch, or maybe the forgettable error. But the season showed a totally different side of every player. And it wasn't just us, the viewer, enjoying the access year one of the season gave us, but the players loved it too. Here's proof.
You see all these TV shows where you get to see what people are actually like. And, I think that's a great part of this show.
What up, bro? What up, Ray? Got a good story for you. Can I say it right now? I got a mic on, so probably not.
We have a lot of personalities, and maybe it's just that. They just want to see what we're doing and see how, that there's always that myth about the baseball humor, jokes, and pranks that go on, and I don't think there's anybody in the league who does just as much about it as we do. And it's just good for the team and good for the game.
I only speak highly of you. Huh? Not so many people can get away with it. You're one of them. Thanks, I love you. I wish I could. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think we've always been easily to identify with. You see our whole faces. You get to know those people on your TV. They become idols. But the best idols are the ones that make the best role models, the ones that, keep a smile on their face, play hard every night, and do well.
Yeah, he getting it.
You'd be amazed at some of the relationships these guys strike up with fans, and a lot of it is because they learn a little bit about them, and they can connect right away.
Watching this season.
I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is the season. I'm working on my acting skills. I go to classes in the off season, and it's been tough.
Seeing a number and a name, you have something to put with that person, and I think it's just, it's always fun to see, what people are about, and I think especially, somebody in sports, it's kind of nice to know what makes them tick and what keeps them going.
The premiere of the season OHJs is only minutes away. Narrated by legendary MC Socrates, the doc focuses on B.J. Ryan's long road back, Alex Rios' offseason, and the return of the franchise, Vernon Wells. It's available in high def. Well, with a new season comes a promise of new memories. And as we leave you, here's a look at some of the more memorable moments from the 2007 season. Thanks for joining us.
Commentators clothing provided in part by Z Zenya. Women's hair services provided by Fiorio Hair Salons. Go to www.fiorio.com for a location near you.
What if rates go up or down?
What if both kids want to go to university? Your plan can cover all that. And what about the kitchen renovations? You could afford that.
New cabinets.
And a pantry.
Marble countertop.
Granite countertops.
How about a breakfast nook? 什么东西是 nook?
跟你妹妹的厨房一样。
No, we're not nook people.
So, no nook.
A Scotiabank advisor can create a plan that helps you get the upper hand on your home financing. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank. Children grow up so fast. But you can get money now for your child's education or training after high school through 2 grants offered by the Government of Canada. The Canada Education Savings Grant is for everyone. It can add up to 40% to your child's education savings. The Canada Learning Bond is for lower-income families. It gives you a free $500 deposit now to help you save for your child's education or training. They're not getting any younger. To get your money now, call 1-800-O-CANADA or visit canlearn.ca. A message from the Government of Canada.
Every moment, ooh, every day, yeah, you're gonna find yourself your way. Oh, every single day.
This is the sequel. 25 players, one nation, united by a game. Welcome to the season 08 Jays.
Did pretty good work on me. Dr. Krimchek right there.
10 months removed from Tommy John, B.J. Ryan breaks down the darkest days of his life.
It was terrible. It was a terrible year altogether. The only thing I could say, I got hurt doing my job.
Between the lines, he's the game's next superstar.
I have a feeling that you're going to remember Alex Rios for some time to come.
Off the field, he's known as the Prince.
I don't know if he reads magazines or what he does, but he's always stylish.
In the face of $126 million, the franchise opens up on a season like no other.
The way you come out of it shows what kind of man, what kind of person you are.
And with the window closing, the doctor speaks out.
There's got to be that urgency every single time, stick it to whoever we're playing.
I'm Alex Rios, and you're watching the season.
This is our season, 08 Jays.
I'm centre fielder Vernon Wells.
The numbers tell the story. 13 players, 1,073 man days lost. Over 22 million sat helpless on the DL.
And I'm thinking there might be a couple of Blue Jay fans going, okay, what is it now?
In a season ravaged by injury, the watershed moment will always be the loss of all-world closer, Bo Jr. Ryan.
It's tough, you go to sleep and you wake up and you're in a sling like this, something in there's not good going on right now, but you go in there thinking of the worst and you just hope everything goes good through the surgery.
Only 11 games into the season, the bullpen lost its general, the 07 Jays, their swagger, and for B.J. Ryan, the game he loved.
It was terrible. It was a terrible year altogether. You're away from your teams. You're with your family is kind of the only thing you have going for you, but you're away. You're not doing what you love, and it's tough, man. You just kind of sit back, and the only thing I could say, I got hurt doing my job. I didn't get hurt messing around kind of off the field activities. I got hurt doing what I love to do.
I think BJ knows it's not a good feeling to be at home in the middle of the season and watching that team play. It's tough. It's hard on the heart because this is what you do and this is what you love to do.
Easy way to put it, you're kind of forgotten. Even though you're not, not purposely, but, when you're not out there and you're hurt, you're not really in it. You don't feel like you're in it. I missed the World Series. I missed the 03 Marlins because of my Tommy John.
Because Tommy John, it's not the surgery, it's the rehab that's kind of the grind, because you're doing the same things over and over again, trying to get strong and trying to get everything back in its place, and that's kind of what keeps you going. I would much rather have to do that rehab through Tommy John than have to sit and miss another year.
One man's misfortune was another's opportunity. As Ryan underwent Tommy John surgery 1,500 miles away, we witnessed the emergence of Jeremy Accardo.
Where somebody has an injury, another young kid gets a shot.
B.J. Ryan, they signed him 5 years, $47 million. Tommy John probably won't be back till, maybe the middle of next year. Maybe they do have themselves a closer.
When one of your good friends and teammates, one of the best closers in the game, goes down and they're calling you to step in and fill his role, those are some pretty big shoes to fill. And it's just good knowing that I can do that, and it's good to let them know that if they ever need it and BJ needs a day's rest, they got no problem throwing me out there.
The saying, out of sight, out of mind, is a mentality for some, just not B.J. Ryan. As Accardo dealt with the mental grind that is the closer's role, B.J. was there for him on the daily, acting as friend and mentor.
Continuously through the year, last year I would call him with struggles that I was having, it wears on you a little bit when you're in those intense games, you know, with those high pressure situations, you know, it kind of takes a little bit more out of you, and that's something you have to deal with. So I wasn't afraid to call him and ask him, you know, what to do in certain situations and what he saw. He watched every game. You know, I can pick his brain for years and years and still not get it all.
It's the tough nights, you know, when you give up those couple runs and you let your team down, and that's kind of the great separator in that role, man. And he was a guy that could handle those swings, man. He's an even kill guy, and you know, and I knew that going in. That way, I wasn't really worried about him. And doing what he did last year is a testament to his work ethic and his mental makeup. That's when it's on the line and you lose it, and you have to look your teammates in the face. It's a little reality check right there. And I mean, he was poised. You can't say enough good things about what he did last year.
Their friendship goes beyond the game. As athletes that pride themselves on late inning pressure, they both admire and respect the biggest pressure cooker of them all, life on the PGA Tour.
Can't talk and answer any questions. Like a kid in a candy store right now, just watching them move it, you know?
To watch those guys do what they do out there, they make it look so easy. It's almost misleading. And, you know, you've been lucky you catch yourself in certain situations and go out to the range and watch those guys prepare. And you know how strong they are mentally, because it's a game that'll wear on you. I mean, 4-foot putts for $100,000. It's tough enough to make a 4-footer with nothing on the line, just kind of bragging rights. So, I mean, those guys are special.
Doesn't hurt to be lucky.
Yeah.
You can throw a good pitch and he'll crush it, but it'll be right at somebody.
Well, it's the same with us, too.
Yeah.
Fall right, hit a tree, and back in the fairway. Thanks a lot, love. I'm like you, I'm finesse.
Yeah, I'm a finesse guy, man. Keep between the fences, get up and down, make some putts.
Not me. Go big, go home.
9 years into his big league career, Bo Jr. Ryan received the ultimate reality check. The surgery and the rehab process that followed simply made him stronger. But as opening day approaches, the health of number 52 is the single biggest question mark facing the 08 Jays.
When I started the whole rehab process, people say what they think's going to happen. You know, not everybody's going to rehab the same, and not everybody's going to heal the same. You know what? And they were saying 12 to 18 months, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? Let's just go and I'll bang away, man, and I'll see what happens. And best case scenario, I break with the team. Worst case scenario, I miss a month. So I was like, I'm just want to get down here and get a fair shake, man. I'll show them the work that I put in and show them that I am going to be healthy to start the year, and then see what happens.
Day 3 of the winter meetings here in Nashville, and the talk continues to swirl around Blue Jays outfielder Alex Rios.
My understanding is that the Jays are willing to do this deal.
During the offseason, I thought I was going to be gone.
When you heard the rumors, it just didn't make any sense. Alex Rios, their lone all-star, the same player that carried the 07 Jays, had his bags packed, convinced that his career in Toronto was over.
Every time I hear myself in trade talks, I have mixed feelings, you know, I don't know what to think. Sometimes you get down and stuff like that, but you gotta realize that it's, like I said, it's a business.
I think anybody who plays the game is pretty naive to think that they're gonna never have their name mentioned in a trade, especially if they're a good player. And part of that problem is most teams come and ask you about your best players. So as a general manager, you wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't listen. I think the ultimate and the end result is that, you know, Rios is here, and there's a reason why he's here. He's here because obviously we didn't think it was a situation to move him was going to help us to be a better club.
Patience is most definitely a virtue. After 2 years in the show, scouts and GMs questioned his game. They said he was too skinny, not enough power, inconsistent. Now, at 27, he's a two-time All-Star and the prototype for power and speed.
I have a feeling that you're going to remember Alex Rios for some time to come.
He's probably one of the best players I've ever seen. I mean, he is the strongest person I've ever seen. So if he gets that skinny look or whatever, don't believe it. He'll crush your hand in a second. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just donkey strength is what they call it.
When you're growing up and you start playing baseball, you talk with your friends, with your teammates, and you talk to them like, I'm gonna make it to the big leagues one day. And all of my teammates were like that. I'm gonna make it too, I'm gonna make it too. It's great, you know, you live in that dream. I like it because my parents are very proud of me, you know, they wanted me to play in the big leagues, and I made it, so they're very happy about it, and that's what I want. I want to make people happy about my success.
There's really no limit for him. I mean, I think if he wants to be a power hitter, he can be a power hitter. If he wants to hit 350, he can hit 350. But for him, it's that maturity level. Once he gets to that maturity level, watch out.
Young player with the combination of pretty good speed, pretty good power. To left field, struck well. Bonds back, looking up, gone.
There's that power you're talking about.
In the clubhouse, it's tough love. With his style and sense of humor, there's no bigger target than number 15.
What up, bro?
What up, bro?
Got a good story for you. Can I say it right now?
I got a mic on, so probably not. He's actually a funny human being. I don't know if he means to, or he gets stuck with his English a lot of times and gets frustrated with himself, and he's just like, screw it. So
I just don't have any English left in my mind. It's all gone.
He's got some nicknames. I always call him the Puerto Rican Prince, when I introduce him to somebody, because he is that guy, and it doesn't matter if it's dark out, he's going to have sunglasses on the top of his head, and they're not going to be just regular sunglasses, they're going to be the Prada aviators, because I don't know if he reads magazines or what he does, but he's always stylish.
He wears his medium shirts, which is a mix between small and medium, and when he should be wearing an extra large. I only speak highly of you. Huh? Not too many people can get away with it. You're one of them.
Thanks, Ren. I love you.
I wish I could.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
As versatile as he is on the field, he's equally so off of it.
My little bird. I got into a hobby last year, flying like RC helicopters and stuff. So I'm learning how to do it, so I'm excited. So I do it almost every day. No. Why not? So I'm nervous. That's enough for that battery.
Flip!
Huh?
Try flip!
I don't know if I want to do that. I'll press it. So I'm nervous.
Well, I know you're nervous, but how are you going to get over it?
I'm scared. I'm going to buy a dog or something.
Coming up on the season. He's a natural in center field, but a big kid at home.
You're watching this.
Finishing third is getting old. Enter two classic throwbacks, David Eckstein and Scott Rowland.
And I'm not a rah-rah win-win guy, but you get in the car, you shut your door, and you go to do your job.
Mama.
That's what could have happened if we hadn't repaired your car. Wow. Oh, it's no problem.
Make an appointment today for your spring service. We're in the Yellow Pages, Napa Auto Pro. Got you covered.
Introducing the revolutionary Kuro.
To make wise food choices for you and your family, compare the nutrition information on food labels. Because healthy eating is worth it.
Healthy eating. It's for life.
Learn how the Nutrition Facts Table can help you choose healthier foods. Call 1-800-O-Canada or visit our website. A message from the Government of Canada.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Grand Caravan, the ultimate family room on wheels.
I'm Vernon Wells, and this is my story.
Although baseball is a game forever linked with failure, Vernon Wells never truly experienced its definition.
Speaking of danger, here's Vernon Wells, who year in and year out is among the candidates for MVP.
That all changed in 2007. In the face of $126 million, a game that once came naturally to him now only brought failure and frustration.
I think signing a contract, obviously of that magnitude, there's some pressure that goes along with it, but I think that even when you struggle, it doesn't matter what kind of money you're making, you don't like to fail. No one in this game likes to fail. Obviously, you know it's going to happen, but there's nothing gonna put more pressure on myself than what I'm going to do to myself internally. I mean, I want to be the best every time I step up to the plate, or if there's a play in the outfield. I want to be the best at what I can do. And last year just obviously was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. So it was frustrating, and you learn from it. The way you come out of it shows what kind of man, what kind of person you are.
Mr. Wells!
How you doing, Reno?
Oh, what's up? A little snake experience over there?
Yeah, you know. May as well look good.
Got the Louis V Nikes on.
It was a good year for him because you need to go through that one time because he's so gifted. He's every year he's getting better and better and better, and then you have that one hiccup year. It makes you look in the mirror a little bit more and realize that you got to work your butt off year in and year out to maintain that. And it was a great year for him. I mean, he got a huge contract now. I think he tried to do a little bit too much to make everybody happy, but now I see that hunger in his eyes again. I'm looking for a huge year from Vernon, an MVP type season from him.
As his numbers plummeted, Vernon Wells never made any excuses. But the truth behind his struggle was his health. On September the 25th, the franchise underwent season-ending surgery to repair a torn labrum in his left shoulder.
Pain-wise, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Took painkillers for a week. Couldn't get any sleep with them, so I shut those down. I don't know if it was the fact that it was the pills or sleeping in a recliner for 4 weeks, which was obviously a tough thing. Just can't lay next to your wife, can't do anything. You just lay in a recliner and try to sleep. And I'd find myself going to sleep at 10, waking up at 2, start watching TV, and just try to get as much sleep as possible. But it was a time where you can kind of just think about everything that happened in 2007, and I watched a lot of film, just put my computer on my lap and just watched a lot of my at-bats from the previous years and just tried to pick apart what went wrong.
Well, first of all, Vernon's one of those players that, you know, I mean, his shoulder was banged up all year, but he never let on about that. I mean, he understands, you know, he's getting paid a lot of money to go out there and perform, and you know, he's not going to use that as an excuse where, you know, it really affected him. But he's a kid that's capable of being an MVP type player every year, and I think what happened to him last year, you know, I think he got frustrated with that, and he's out to prove that, you know, he's the old guy. But there's no question, you know, this team revolves around him.
There's Vernon Wells, their Gold Glove center fielder, and he launches one to left field. This one has hit a ton, and it's gone.
For the franchise, perspective and the true meaning of life comes in the form of his boys, 2-year-old Christian and 5-year-old Jace.
Say hi, Christian. I don't know why it's going so hard. No matter what I do on the baseball field, these two don't care. They'll come home and I'll come home and they'll be as happy to see me as ever, whether I'm 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. They could care less. And Christian. This is Christian, and this is Jace, and you're watching this.
After 10 years of losing, Roy Halladay was compelled to speak. As his teammates arrived to camp in Dunedin, Florida, they were greeted with these words from the doctor. Quote, "I think there were times last year where there just wasn't that sense of urgency. We have to have an attitude of burying teams every chance we get." Unquote.
That's probably the biggest statement we can make in that clubhouse. And, you know, when it comes from a guy like Doc, kind of the face of the organization, I mean, people, they shut up and listen.
You know, you just got that feeling every once in a while that,
we were just there, and we throw our gloves on the field and hope that we won. And I think that's something for us that's got to change, especially in this division. We just can't have games that we give away, and there's got to be that urgency every single time, whether we're up or down, to stick it to whoever we're playing.
He's not very vocal. He leads by example, and so the times that he does say something, he kind of ears perk up a little bit. Like, well, Doc's, he's speaking up. We better listen.
When you're as good as we are, you got to get over the expecting part and just go out there and do it. And if everybody does their part, and we should definitely step on some throats.
The identity of a ball club is founded when nobody's watching. Enter Scott Rowland and David Eckstein, two players whose style and grit will redefine the culture.
And I'm not a rah-rah win-win guy, but you get in the car, you shut your door, and you go to do your job.
You got a 6'4" guy, I don't know, 2 something, but he comes out and he plays hard every day. He's a blue-collar worker, and the fans there are gonna just eat that up because he shows up every day to play the game, to find a way to win.
You talk about a scrappy effort by an outstanding shortstop.
That's why he's in the big leagues. He is the classic overachiever.
We know he hustles. We know he's a good leadoff hitter. We know he's a good shortstop. We know, he's a little guy and gets the most out of all of his stuff, and he gets voted this and voted. We all know that, but his character, who he is as a person, and what he does within his family, within the community, what he does transcends anything. I would be probably disrespectful to talk about his baseball ability because I think that much of him as a person.
The one thing I do as a professional player is that I will always do my best. I'll try to give 100%. I'm usually full speed. So I look like the guy out there that's always in motion, like just active, like the hyper kid out there. The type of guy that goes out there and just tries to do the little things to try to help the club win.
Their resumes are filled with gold gloves and MVPs, but most important, they bring respect, leadership, and October experience.
This team needs to win. They have a bunch of guys that are great baseball players that want to win, and it just seems like a great fit because they're right on the cusp to take that next leap. This is a solid team, and yes, we play in a tough division, but in order to be the best, you got to beat the best.
There's a feeling everybody can look around and look at the infield and look at who's next to you and look who's at the plate and look who's on the mound and go, this could be a pretty special group of guys right here. There's a lot of talent out here. And you can look around and go, you know what, guys? This is a shot right here.
Next on the season. The rebuilding process is over. This team is designed to win now.
I don't want to just win the division. I want to run away with it.
And the 08 Jays wish these moments hit the cutting room floor.
I'm centre fielder Vernon Wells.
Damn it, you better edit some of that.
Canucks hockey on Rogers Sportsnet. Hockey that matters.
For easy access to federal government programs and services, like our apprenticeship grant, call, click, or visit us today.
Service Canada. People serving people.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Introducing the revolutionary Kuro.
What if rates go up or down?
What if both kids want to go to university?
Your plan can cover all that.
And what about the kitchen renovations?
You could afford that.
New cabinets.
And a pantry.
Marble countertop.
Granite countertops.
How about a breakfast nook?
什么东西是 nook?
跟你妹妹的厨房一样。
No, we're not nook people.
So, no nook.
A Scotiabank advisor can create a plan that helps you get the upper hand on your home financing. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Despite the lineup, the talent, the balance from top to bottom, the media have already written them off. They say Boston and New York are just too powerful. But respect is earned between the lines, not in the papers.
You know, that's fine. They can take all the credit they want in saying that those guys are the predictions of winning the World Series. But I think deep down inside in our locker room, we know that we're good as anyone else.
I think we really got a good shot at winning this division. And I tell people wholeheartedly that we can compete with Boston and New York any day of the week. We just got to stay healthy and stay focused.
It's not live or die. These are the series we have to beat the Yankees. We have to beat the Red Sox. We have to beat, no. We have to win enough games to get in the playoffs. And if that's against them, so be it.
We also believe that we're a better club than them, so we don't need to hear it from the whole world, whatever. We just need to go out and play baseball, and then the whole world will recognize it that way.
By the end of the year, we're going to be right there, and I know it. And I know that those teams know about it too. I guarantee they're fearing us.
No longer hoping or rebuilding, 25 players arrive in the Bronx, fully aware that third place is not acceptable.
I don't want to just win the division. I want to run away with it. I want to leave absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that we were the class of the American League East this year, and it starts opening day.
We've gone through our struggles. We've gone through rebuilding phase, and we have a team now that can win. And I think that everybody's tired of thinking about next year and what's possible to do next year. We need to play for now.
I really feel this can be the year, because the guys had difficult seasons last year. You know, 4 of our top hitters last year had very bad seasons. And if that's the case, they could turn around the next year. And everything happens at one time. You could be looking at a World Series champion.
I mean, we're built well, and we're built to compete, and we're built to win now. And the window it's not going to stay open forever, man. I mean, guys are going to get older, and it's going to roll over. But I want to win, man. This is the best team I've ever been on. But now it's time to stop talking about it and just go out there and do it.
I got a mic.
This is the season of 8 days. Woohoo!
Is this for late night TV?
I'm working on my acting skills. I go to classes in the off season.
John McDonald, shortstop, second base, third catcher, possible outfielder.
Damn it, you better edit some of that.
Hello. We have to tell Christian that he's playing sometimes when he's really not playing. Yeah, you're the green guy. We just did you. I feel bad we're lying to him, but he doesn't know.
So you got him? You got him. No, I got him. No, I got him.
Just got that tin can, bro. Oh, I heard 4.
I'm centre fielder Vernon Wells.
Go grab a couple of clothes out of their bags, walk off, see if they notice.
And I hope everybody enjoys the second season.
Catch Jays Connected every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time to watch new segments of the season. 08 Jays all year long.